everyone. I have a really gentle, feel-good mobility flow for you today that is perfect to do on a day when you're feeling sore. Those days where you know that a little bit of gentle movement to kind of work out the stiffness would probably be good for you, but you are not trying to do anything strenuous at all. That is what today's class is all about. So we're going to start seated. We'll do a little bit of work in tabletop, and then we'll finish laying down on our backs, okay? So again, very gentle. So we'll find a cross-legged position. If you want, you can sit on a pillow or a yoga block, whatever is comfortable. Probably not a yoga block, it'll be too high, but feel free to sit on a pillow for this first part. We're going to focus on the neck, and then we'll get into thoracic spine, shoulders, then we'll come to tabletop. So to start, I just want you to tense your fingertips on the floor to either side of you, wide enough that you feel this reach and this sort of lengthening through the top of your shoulders and your neck. And from here, you'll mirror me. We'll take our right ear and we'll drop it towards the right shoulder. And then in this position, we're going to rotate, gaze towards the floor, and then just reverse it. Rotate back so you're looking at me, and then just bring it upright. Stay to the same side, okay? Right ear to right shoulder. Rotate gently back through center and up. You may need to take your left arm and reach it a little wider if you're not feeling that good stretch through here. One more like this. And then this time when we bring ear to shoulder, stay on the right, we're just going to rotate down, and now we're going to come through center. We're going to rotate up just a little bit, okay? Rotate down and up. Go slow and stay within a range of motion that feels safe, okay? There shouldn't feel like there's any compression or crunching through the neck. This should feel good. Down, up slightly. One more, rotate down. Rotate up, and then come through center so you're looking at me, but we have ear to shoulder. From here, we're going to roll side to side. So we're going to start to bring our chin down towards our chest, and we're just going to do the bottom half of a circle, and then you're going to bring left ear to left shoulder. Oh, that feels good. And then just reverse it. Chin to chest, and then ear to shoulder. Slowly side to side. Make sure you're sitting upright, length of the spine. And then next time you go left ear to left shoulder, I want you to pause here. And we're going to start that from the top, so let's bring our head upright. We go left ear to left shoulder, and then we rotate, gaze to the floor. Back so you're looking at me, and then just bring that neck upright to neutral. To the left, rotate down, center off, and up twice more. These are slow, small movements, okay? Should feel safe, should feel good. And now this time when you bring ear to shoulder, we're going to stay within this sort of neck, cervical side bend, and we're going to rotate down just like we were doing. Then we're going to come through center. Can you rotate up a little bit? Only as much as feels safe, okay? One more. I want you to come through center so we still have ear to shoulder, but we're not rotated. Now we can do the same thing we did where we just do the bottom half of a circle. If it feels comfortable, we'll make a full circle though, okay? You choose. So we're going to start chin to chest, right ear to right shoulder, and then maybe gaze shifts slightly up, head back just a little bit, left ear to left shoulder, rotate down. So let's just do a few moving this direction and then we'll switch. Again, if the looking up and the tilting back of your head is not feeling safe, doesn't feel good, then I just want you to do the chin to chest and just do the bottom half of the circle. Next time you get left ear to left shoulder, I want you to pause and let's just reverse direction. So gaze shifts up, right ear to right shoulder, chin to chest. Slow, controlled circles. Let's make one more circle. And then let's bring that cervical spine, that neck into neutral. Let's shift the focus down the spine into more thoracic spine now, okay? So to start, let's just do a fluid side bend. One arm goes up and over, and then fingertips replace, and we take it to the other side. So a little bit freedom of movement here. Stay open through the chest as you do this. Just sort of waking up through the shoulders and through our mid-spine. And now we're just keeping the neck in line with whatever the mid-spine is doing, okay? So next time you side bend over to the right, we're going to hold in that side bend. So right fingertips tent, left arm sweeps up. So we're in this nice side bend. We're going to stay in the side bend as we do a little combo. Let's start by rotating towards the floor, bringing your chest towards that mat at an angle. And then from here, I want you to take your left hand. I want you to reach it, reach it, reach it, tap it down to the mat. That should feel really good. And then we're going to lift the arm back up. And now we're going to rotate. We're going to come through neutral, find an open twist up towards the ceiling, peel open through that top shoulder. So we're nice and open through the chest here. Rotate back down to the floor, reach that left arm long, and then lower it. So you're reaching to tap the mat. Think of as far away from your legs as you can. And we just reverse it. We lift the arm. We rotate open. Big opening here. Close it and reach. Think length through the spine. So when you rotate here, you're rotating open through the mid-spine. We're not sinking into the lower back. Once we've rotated open as far as we can through the spine, then we let that arm kind of open up. We get that nice stretch across our pecs in the front of our chest. Let's do one more this side. Reach that arm. Open it up. And we're going to hold in the reach, okay? So I want you to rotate towards the floor, arm reaches forward, tap it down and hold. You can walk your hands forward a little bit so we feel this nice stretch through our back. And just stay here for a few breaths. For the most part, this is going to be a continuous flow, but there will be times throughout class, especially at the end, where we just hold a position and breathe into it. As you inhale, think of expanding into your side body and your back. Exhale slowly out, engaging through the core. One more deep breath here. And then from here, let's open up into our side bend and let's just take it over to the other side. So now we're going to reach our right arm up. We're going to side bend over to the left. And we're going to do that same combo. So first we rotate towards the floor and then reach long through this right arm. It taps down to the mat. You lift the arm up. We rotate open. That rotation comes from your mid-spine. When the spine has reached its max point, then we can really reach that arm forward, opening up across the chest. And just keep moving like that. We rotate to the floor, long spine, reach. We lift the arm, spine rotates open, and then arm can continue to open up. Maintain length through the neck as you do this. We'll do one more full rep and then we will hold in the reach. About to have a nip slip here. Hold on. There we go. Maybe a one shoulder top wasn't the best plan. All right, let's hold. So you're going to reach forward, hands to the mat. You can walk them forward, out to the left a little bit so we get this nice stretch through the side body, especially through that lumbar spine. And let's just stay here a few deep breaths. Inhale, direct that breath into the areas you feel tightness. Exhale, melt. One more deep breath. Let's open up into our side bend. Let's come up through center, and then from here, hands are going to come to front. You're going to start to walk them forward. I'm just going to turn to the side so I can do this. And we're going to come into a tabletop position so you can uncross through the ankles. Now from here, I want you to take your hands and just step them out so they're about 6 inches in front of your shoulders. Knees are hips distance apart. We're going to do a cat-cow, adding in a rock back and forward, getting some flexion and extension of the spine and through the hip joint, okay? So as you exhale, we're going to round our spine up to the ceiling, and then I want you to send your hips back to your heels as you press your armpits towards the floor. And then as you come forward, we round the spine, and then as you come to center, start to elongate the spine through neutral into a little extension. Fire through your glutes, drop the hips so we come into almost an up dog or a spinal extension. And then we just reverse that. Rocking forward and back. We have kind of a theme of rocking for the next minute or so. Now I want this to be a safe spinal extension. You should not be crunching into your lower back, so that's why glute engagement is important. And we're only dropping our hips as low as feels safe, so maybe you don't come into very much of an extension at all. That is absolutely fine. As you do, though, I want you to think of opening up through the chest, pressing the mat away with your arms. One more like this. And just pause in this extension. From here, we're just going to do a little shift side to side. So you're looking back over one shoulder and then back over the other shoulder. Our hips are in this nice extended position. We're going to play around with internal and external rotation through the hips up next. One more glance over each shoulder. And then I want you to come back through tabletop, but keep your hands out a little farther farther forward than your shoulders. All right, now from here, I want you to bring your feet together, and I want you to separate your knees a smidge wider. We're going to do a rock back and forward. You can take out the rounding of the spine, though. It's more just a shift, a sliding back, bum towards heels, and a sliding forward, bringing your hips slightly farther forward than the knees, if that feels okay. So we are externally rotated in the hip joint as we do this, rocking back and forward. Let's do one more. Bring it forward, come through neutral. Now we're going to switch. I still want the hands out a little farther forward than a normal tabletop, but now I want you to bring knees together and then separate your shins, feet apart. So now we're internally rotated in the hip joint. This is going to be a much smaller movement. You're going to shift those hips back, oh boy, and forward. Oh, that feels tight. I'm filming this class today because I am very sore today. So this is perfect. This is exactly what my body needs. One more, shift it back and shift it forward. All right, now let's come through a real tabletop. So I want hands stacked under shoulders. Knees are sitting bones distance apart. And from here, I want you to take your left leg and I want you to reach it long, planting the ball of your left foot back, okay? You have one more little round of rocking forward and back, and then we'll chill and we'll switch it up, okay? But I want you to shift back, pressing the left heel towards the floor so you feel that nice calf stretch, and then rock it forward so you feel a nice stretch through the arch in the bottom of your foot. So heel shifts back, and then you shift forward onto those toes, mobilizing through the big toe, nice stretch through the arch. Heel presses, rock it forward. So it doesn't have to be a very big rock at all. We're going to do a little combo coming up, and I'll get you off your wrists for part of it. One more here. Rock it forward, and then just come through center with the ball of the foot planted. Now I want you to listen to the order in which we're going to do things. Now first I want you to take that left heel, and I want you to drop it over to the right, and then I want you to take your left hip and start to peel it open so you're stacking it on top of the left. So we've twisted open through the lower spine, so now our pelvis and our legs are kind of in this open position. Now I want you to take your left arm, and I want you to start to kind of reach it overhead as you roll open through the chest. Peel that arm open, sweep it around so now it's angled, reaching towards your feet. And on an exhale, I want you to connect to your core, and I want you to just press off your bottom hand, and we're just going to come up into this kneeling position and do a counter side bend stretch. So the right arm goes up and over. And now we're just going to reverse it. Right hand comes down to the floor. Keep your foot planted like this. Pelvis stays pretty open. First, we circle the left arm around. The left hand plants. Then we lift up that heel and we pull the left hip down, squaring it off with the right. So we're back in our starting position. Let's do that again. So first, the lower half twists open. Drop the heel, peel the hip. Then circle the arm. You're mirroring me. Oh, that should feel good. And then we push off the bottom hand and we side bend. Go slowly through this combo. Reverse it back down. First, circle the arm and square the chest. Then pick up the heel and square the hips. We're going to do that twice more. Final time. Peel the hips open, drop the heel. Circle the arm overhead and down to your feet. Come up to kneeling in this open hip position. Fire through the glutes. Side body stretch. We bring it back down to the mat. Circling first the arm. Squaring off through the hips. And now we're going to do that same thing on the other side. So I want you to plant your left knee down and you're going to send the right leg long. I'm just going to turn around to face the other direction, so that'll be mirroring you, okay? So right leg goes long, and let's start with that little shift back and forward. So the heel goes towards the mat. Ooh, it's feeling tight. And then we rock forward towards the big toe so that we get that nice stretch through the arch. Whoa, I cannot talk. Shift it back and forward. If your wrists are bothering you, you can come up to knuckles since this is such a small rock. We're just going to do that same series on this side, and then we'll be laying down for the rest of the class, okay? So you're almost there. Rock it back and forward. Twice more. Okay, we're just going to come through center. We're going to do that combo. So you remember the order. First, you're going to drop your right heel over to the left as you take that right hip and peel it open like you're trying to stack it on top of the left. Then from here, we're going to circle the arm. So that right arm reaches overhead as you peel the chest open. Circle it around so your hand is reaching towards your feet. Little bend of this left elbow so you can push off of it. Come up and counter side bend stretch. Oh, nice opening through there. You're also squeezing through the glutes, so you're feeling a nice opening through your hips. And we reverse it. Left hand to the mat. Right arm circles around, squaring the chest to the floor. Then pick up the heel, pull that right hip down, squaring off. You're in your starting position. Again, peel open through the hips. Circle that arm as you peel open through the chest. Lots of peeling going on. That is that's the word of the day here. Circle that arm down. And then lift up through the heel. Let's do that twice more. Heel drops, pelvis twists open. Arm circles. Upright into that side bend. Final time. Hips open. Chest open. Side bend. Chest squares. Then hip square. And let's bend that right knee, bringing it in. I want you to cross at the ankles. Come through a seated position. Feet in front of you. And then let's roll all the way down to our back. So here's when we get into the real feel-good stuff, okay? We're just going to be lying down for the rest of it, kind of rolling around on the floor, okay? Sound good? All right, to start, I want you to take your right leg and reach it long. Your left knee is bent, left foot is on the floor. Now I want you to take it and step it out about 45 degrees, okay? So it's kind of at an angle pointing towards the outer bottom corner of your mat, and step it out a little wide, okay? Now with your arms, let's cactus those elbows so we get this nice opening through the chest. Now I want you to take your left knee and I want you to drop it in towards midline, towards your right knee. It may touch, it may not get that far down. And then let's just windshield wiper it through center and then open it as if you're flopping it towards your armpit. and just go side to side. Now it may feel good to take your left hand and gently press it towards the floor open and press it towards midline, or you may just hold with the back of the forearms on the floor in that cactus position, whatever works for you. I'm not so concerned if there's a little lifting of this left hip as you drop towards midline, but I don't want a huge roll through the pelvis, okay? So for the most part, think about keeping your hip bones anchored into the floor. I want to focus on that thigh bone rotating within the hip joint, coming to the outer edge of your foot as the knee goes open, inner edge as the knee drops into midline. Twice more. And now next time the knee drops out wide, I want you to pause, and I want you to grab your knee in your hands, and keeping it open wide, just pull that left knee kind of up wide towards your left armpit, okay? Just a gentle little pull. We're going to mix in some static holds in this last chunk of class. Now we're going to take a second stretch. Instead of having the knee open in this externally rotate position, we're going to bring it in through center. It can be very uncomfortable for your hip flexors to do this. If it's unbearable, then just stay with the open position. But otherwise, let's release a little bit, and then let's bring it through center. So it's square. Now you're hugging the knee in directly towards your chest. Just a few breaths here. And the final stretch, we'll bring it across midline, coming into a feel-good spinal twist. So now I want you to take this left knee, and I want you to bring it across to the right, and you're twisting through that spine. You can bring your elbows back into kind of a goalpost position. The knee doesn't need to touch the floor. Only as deep as a twist. That feels good. Few breaths here. Now, staying in this twisted position, all I want you to do is open your arms out into a T shape. Your right arm is going to stay anchored. We're going to kind of sweep and circle this left arm. So keeping the fingertips touching the floor, I want you to start circling this left arm overhead. And then as you circle it over to the right, we're going to stack our body so that we're coming to lay completely on the right side. And then we're just going to reverse it. So we keep the lower half twisted open. We're just circling and twisting and closing with the upper body, and reverse it. So you're mirroring me. We're laying on our side body, and then keeping our hips as they are, we twist open. Oh, that feels so good. One more time. And when you're open back up in this T shape, we're going to pause for an in-breath. Exhale, melt. And then we're going to start from the top. So let's bring our legs back through center, and let's switch. So now your left leg is going to go long. Right knee is bent, right foot planted. You can be in goalpost position with the arms. And now I want you to take that right foot, and I want you to step it out wide at like a 45-degree angle. The exact angle is just going to depend on what works for your hips, okay? So it doesn't have to look the same for everyone. From here, let's windshield wiper that knee. So we will drop the knee in towards midline, coming to the inner edge of our foot. And then we'll open up and we'll drop that knee up wide towards our armpit, coming to the outer edge of our foot. As we do this, for the most part, we're keeping our hips anchored down to the floor, but if there's a little lifting, that's fine. But don't feel like by any means your knee should actually be touching the ground. Mine certainly isn't. If you'd like, you can take your right hand and just add a little bit of pressure. Or you can just stay in that cactus position, whatever works for you. Twice more. Next time you drop it open and wide, you're going to pause. Then your hands are going to reach for that knee, and you're going to gently pull it up wide, kind of into your armpits. So we're open through the hip here. Gentle pull in. Few breaths. So we're holding wide. Now let's come through and hold center. So square your hips, thighs are parallel, and now pull that knee in. My left hip gets cranky, so this can be a very uncomfortable position for me, so I'm not pulling in very hard at all. And I'm focusing on directing my breath to my hip flexors. And with every exhale, I'm trying to relax my hips and melt into the position. But notice if this is uncomfortable and your leg is wanting to inch back towards that wide position. So we've gone wide to the right, we've gone center. Now let's go to the left, adding in that spinal twist. You're going to take that left knee across. Your right knee across. You can let that right hip lift up. We're coming into this twist. And then I like to open back up into goal pose, so I get that nice opening through my chest. You don't have to though, do what feels comfortable. And just stay here with every exhale, melt into the position, maybe twist a little deeper. Maybe that knee gets closer to touching the floor. We're trying to keep our shoulders down on the ground. Mine don't quite. There we go. And then we're going to add in a little movement. So first I just want you to straighten out your arms in a T. Now this right arm is going to circle and sweep. So you keep the fingertips touching the floor. You start to circle it up overhead, then around, coming all the way to lay on your left side body, and then just reverse it. So the lower half is staying pretty much in the same position. We're just twisting, open and close to the upper. We're going to do one more. Twist it open. Stay here for a breath in and out. And then let's come through center and let's bend both knees. We're going to finish up with just a few stretches, okay? 3 to be exact. First, we're going to do a figure 4. I'm going to take the left ankle, cross it over the right knee. This may be a deep enough stretch if you are sore and feeling really stiff. If you'd like to though, then you grab your thigh with your hands, your right thigh with your hands, and you pull the whole shape in towards your chest. And I like to kind of use the left elbow to press out on that left thigh. Again, if you want to take the more passive stretch, just keep this right foot planted on the ground. If you want to play around with kicking the right leg straight and bending it, that can be a nice added opening through the back of that leg. Once more. And then let's plant that right foot down on the ground and let's just do the same thing other side. So now right crosses over left. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you hug the shape in towards your chest, wrapping those hands around the back of your left thigh. And you can gently push out on the right thigh with your right elbow. You can stay in stillness, or if you want, we can bend and straighten through this left leg. Kick the leg straight and bend it back, all while maintaining the stretch through your right outer hip. Once more. And then let's uncross the legs. Let's finish with a happy baby. If you are really stiff and sore today, you're feeling tight, you can just hug the knees into your armpits. If you want to do the full happy baby though, hands will reach to the outer edge of your feet, and then with that grip, you kind of pull the knees in towards your armpits. Thinking about keeping your back on the ground. Stay here as long as feels good, but when you're ready, we're going to finish with a full body stretch. You're going to inhale and reach the legs long and reach your arms overhead. Exhale, just relax, melting into the floor. One more time like that. Inhale, reach. And exhale, melt. And that is your class. You can bring your hands behind one thigh and use that to rock yourself up to seated. Hope you're feeling good and maybe a little less stiff after that. And I'll see you guys next time.